Hey SPN family, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jill, and this is Roadhouse Idiots.
Oh, I forgot what the name of the episode was. It had the word devil in it.
Right, something against the devil, or...
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on the name.
Which is a shame, because what an episode. It's because so much stuff happened this episode.
Yeah, this was that episode that tied a lot of the plots together.
Yeah.
And I think next week's will even go further than that, but let's look at this week. So this episode had everything from raunchy comedy to, very emotional moments to me almost getting the piss scared out of.
Wow. I feel like the cast really stepped up their game acting-wise. I feel like I've been saying that a lot this season. Mm-hmm. But this episode, I can't even decide who did the best job acting. Like, Sam did such an amazing job, and Lucifer did such an amazing job, and Dean, like, there's just so many, and Jack had a really good moment, mm-hmm. and I was just so impressed by how committed, like, all these emotions were this episode. Let's start at the beginning, because, for an action-packed episode, what I'm so happy with is, Supernatural's always done a good job of mixing comedy with action, mm-hmm. but usually they're broken up into more of, like, episodes. You either get a comedy or an action episode, and this was such a hybrid, because the first half of this episode, or the first third, was just pure comedy.
Yeah.
It was so unbelievably funny, and I don't think our camera turned off on us, guys. So you will see our reaction for Sam's death and Sam's bring back and a lot of good moments. But I think Gabriel, like, delivering his grace and his, like, masturbating in Dean's room.
That was very well done.
I don't think we have that on footage, which is a shame, because it was just just us laughing absolutely hysterically. Oh my gosh, it was so... That was the euphemisms in that, going back and forth. And then we had a moment of realization about 2 minutes before, so I'm sure everyone did. I'm like, oh my god, these two are just gonna get it on. And then, but then for them to go for it and have just Gabriel and Rowena, who are both just so in their own little selfish worlds and like the pleasures of the fighter things, just having sex in the library, like, was just wicked funny.
Well done.
Well done.
I appreciated that we did get some kind of like vintage trickster.
Yeah.
In the bar.
That was really good.
Was cool.
It was a cool throwback moment, and I liked the detail of the moose on the door, and I liked the, like, I've killed you and I killed you too, and I loved that moment, and I liked the thought of the draining grace. Like, that was a cool idea. You instantly knew it was gonna fail, but it was a cool idea. And I also liked the throwback to Lucifer singing, because that really reminded me of, I want to say it was season 7, when Lucifer was like torturing Sam mentally in his head, and he's going insane through the singing.
Yep.
So it kind of brought back a lot of like the retro scariness that was Lucifer back then. So that part was really cool. Let's talk about the vampire cave.
Oh man, like that, it's been a while since like season 1 or 2 where Supernatural had a moment that like made me just want to like piss my pants. And today was it. So
I almost for a second, that scene in the cave was so well done. I almost for a second wish this was like a Game of Thrones show where they kill off main characters. Do you know what I mean?
That's the one thing.
Because unfortunately, like, the first minute that Sam died...
Not even.
No, for the first full minute that Sam was like dead, I was like, but it's Sam, he can't be dead.
Exactly.
But the music was like, well, maybe he is dead. And the lighting was like, well, maybe he is dead. And the emotions that Cass had and Dean had, like, all of that was so well done.
It'll make you think it, but like, you're not tricking the viewers. We've seen the song and dance before.
But apart from that, it was so well done. Like, there was nothing that they could have done. Like, the acting was superb, the lighting was superb, the soundtrack.
It had to have been a different character to make the death believable.
Oh my
gosh. Had to have been like...
Like, if Cass died that way.
If it was Cass or if it was Gabriel.
Oh, Gabriel, that would have been sad. I would have been pissed. Like, if they brought him back just like... But, the thing is, if we were watching this and there wasn't, like, a renewal for next season and stuff... I would have been
Then-
convinced that like he
Yeah,
was
at
gay.
that point,
so
yes.
it's only because of we know it's renewed for another season and it's Jarrett Padalecki's character that I was like he can't be dead. But from an episode.
Now I could have
well
I could have
done.
believed him, you know, because he was bit by vampires, like him becoming a vampire.
That's what I thought. That's why
know,
if
but, like,
you watch
he
a reaction
wasn't
video, I was like,
dead.
maybe he like I thought because when I saw the wound, because he actually did die and then Lucifer
Yes.
brought him back.
Yeah.
I was like, you can't survive that. Maybe they'll have blood drip into him and he'll become a vampire and there'll be like one of those types of things. I should have guessed that Lucifer was following because Lucifer got thrown into the world. But that scene, super, super well done.
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
We've got Lucifer's back and he's now joined the camp.
Yeah. That's funny.
So what?
I feel like Lucifer is gonna kind of be playing this like again like the comic relief next week. I feel like the stakes aren't against Lucifer. You know what I mean?
I know, but I feel like he just wants to, I don't know, try to be a hero
He wants
try
to
to
fit
steal
in.
Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
that's-
he's
that-
not a
that's
good
his only
guy. He just
motivation.
wants Jack, and then he'll
Yes.
cause more destruction. I do now see the other thing. It was a minor plot because it was only in the walk by with Cass and Gabriel, but they alluded to Gabriel taking over heaven.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about that?
Well, where's Chuck?
He's gone. Absentee father. No, listen, I could really get on board with more Gabriel running heaven. Like, I feel like he
Yeah.
would be a good contrast with the other angels because he's always referencing how the angels kind of act like they have sticks shoved up their butts and Gabriel's so fun.
Yeah.
So I just feel like that could actually be a good contrast and it would just be fun because I know I personally, I cannot get enough of Richard Spade.
I could see it. I could see them kind of going in that direction for a 14th season.
I can get on board with that. I'm willing to see how that
Yeah.
pitch sells before it goes off somewhere.
I'm just curious to see like where the real threat is going to come in the next 2 episodes and
look.
moving forward.
Well, it's Michael.
Right. But like is that going to continue on into the next season?
No,
do you
I think it's going to get resolved and then it will turn into another prop for the following season.
It like the one thing that this show has lacked to me has been like a threat, like a legitimate threat that you felt, you know, jeopardized Team Free Will.
I don't know. Well, because it's been happening in the other world.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened on their world, but now they're in the world now where the war is
But
happening.
it still doesn't feel to me like a real thing.
I don't know. I think something.
We'll see. I could be wrong.
I don't know, but based off of rumblings that I've heard online, I think something bad's gonna happen.
I think I've heard those same rumblings.
And I think something really bad is gonna
Yeah,
happen.
so we'll see.
So I'm a little nervous. Like, let's
see.
just put it this way. If it was a character that wasn't Sam, that was a main character that died, I would have believed it.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
I fear for Dean. Let's just put this out there. And I don't want to lose Dean. Even though Jensen is going to remain a part of the show, I don't want to lose Dean. Because Dean's my favorite character. And I'm not prepared to lose
see.
Dean. And I actually feel like there's a chance that Dean isn't going to survive this.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Which,
We'll see.
no.
We'll see.
I'm a little nervous. All right, we got to rate this week's episode.
Okay,
All right.
high number for me.
3, 2, 1.
9.
10. 9.5 Impalas, guys.
The only thing that did make it a 10 is because it didn't sell Sam being dead.
I can't blame that on this episode. That's like other episodes that have made you feel that way because
Yes.
we know. Like if this
But the
wasn't
show
the
should know that.
world. No, that's not that fair. Like if this show was made in a world where social media wasn't a thing and we knew about renewals of a thing, then it would have been a totally believable Sam death.
If that, yeah, but we don't live in that world.
Yeah, but that's not the show's fault.
Absolutely. Like, producers need to be aware that social media is such a marketing tool in this
I
day
gave
and
it a
age.
10.
You did. It was good. I gave it a 9.
Episode.
It was an A.
I'm going to rewatch this episode a lot. What a I am so excited to rewatch that fight scene where Sam does die because it was so well done. I thought Dean's emotion was on point. I liked Jack being angry. I loved the humor. I loved having Gabriel and Rowena just like have the sex, and I even just loved like the laughing that like how sexual they've turned this whole Grace thing into.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just so many elements that I loved from this week's episode. I'm very excited to see this.
I feel like this season, when you rewatch this season, is going to be better when you binge it.
This is such a good episode.
This is a great
because we had so many breaks.
binge
Such
season.
a good season. I'm very excited. Like I haven't even from last season wasn't my favorite. I haven't even binge watched the season 12 yet.
No.
But I will be binge watching season 13
Yeah.
because it is such a good season. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. 10 out of 10 in polish for me. What I want to know from you guys is, do you agree with us though? And on your one fault, and I do agree with you on the one fault, I didn't buy into Sam's death.
Like, they could have swapped Sam for Cass in that whole situation. Like,
And it
you
would
could
have been
killed
believable.
You could have killed off Cass, and then you could have had Lucifer bring back Cass, and it would have been believable. I felt.
That's true.
Right?
Maybe
like,
that's
if you just swapped those two characters, it would have emotionally resonated with me more.
maybe.
But because it was Sam, and you know all the extracurricular stuff behind the scenes of the
Maybe.
show, that's why
actually a good point. I would have believed it if it was Cass. If it was, but I mean, what is?
they got to kill off Cass eventually.
I actually one of our commenters wrote that last week.
Yeah.
They were saying that if there's when we talked about should Lucifer die, and they said if you feel like Lucifer's plot point is over, then that means you
Yeah.
also have to kill off Cass.
Cass.
Which we're opening a can of worms by saying. I feel like that's a whole.
I feel like if you really want to establish, real consequences in this show where people actually die and don't come back,
yeah, Cass
because
is
this
Cass
show
is one
lacks
that you
that
can get
now.
rid of.
You can kill off Cass and make
Cass.
it permanent. I realized we lost Crowley last year, but that again,
I was sad. Well, I
I still feel like the show needs more of those.
Stop
permanent
saying that because
departures.
I'm scared for this guy. I don't want you. You're like, this show needs it. I'm not
Well, you
prepared
get the
for
actor,
this.
you just lose the character.
I don't want to lose the character.
Whatever the threat is, it needs to
It
have
needs to be.
permanent
I
consequences.
agree. As much as I hate to see favorite characters that I love like leave, I agree there should be permanent.
Yeah,
There should be consequences. To quote Dean from season 1, what's dead
It should stay
dead. And I love that the show breaks those rules, but when you break it too much, I do agree with you with this like bait back and forth. However, let's not let that cloud the judgment of this episode. This episode was amazing. It was
an A.
so freaking good. Well done. And I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode as much as we did. Thank you so much for stopping by the Roadhouse this week.
Carry on, and have a wayward week.
Hey guys.